Hey guys, welcome back to 10-minute timepieces. Today we're going to be checking out the Hamilton Khaki King. Hamilton does have a lineup of all sorts of different watches, whether you're looking for pilot watches, divers, chronographs, field watches. They have a little bit of everything, and everything they seem to put out really hits the mark. Pretty much by now, everybody knows about the Hamilton Khaki line, which is their field watch that they produce. The original Khaki comes in a 38 millimeter and a 42 millimeter version, while the Khaki King only comes in a 40 millimeter version. In my opinion, that is the sweet spot for most people. 38 really is a great size for a lot of different watches, but for a field watch or a tool watch, 40 millimeters just has that perfect sizing, especially for people that have 6.5 to 7 inch wrists. Any bigger, then you might want to get a little bit of a bigger watch. But the Khaki King seems to check the boxes in terms of size and dimension. Now, the Khaki King and the original Khaki do have a couple differences, one being the crown. On the original Khaki, the crown is larger and does not have crown guards, whereas on the Khaki King, as you can see, it does have some nice crown guards, which is an interesting design by Hamilton, and I think it distinguishes the Khaki King a little bit better from the Khaki at a glance. The other main difference being that the Khaki King has the famous day date complication right where the 12-hour marker would be. Now, some people do not like that the day date complication cuts off the 11 and the 1. I don't think it's that big of an issue, honestly. I actually kind of like it. It gives the watch character, it makes it a little less uniform, and I just think that it shows that this watch is a tool watch that is made to see the day and the date a lot easier, as it is pretty large. Now, as you can see, I opted for the what Hamilton calls the beige dial, but honestly, at a closer look, this is absolutely a champagne dial. It reflects light just really nicely, and from a distance, it almost has a white creamish dial, which is pretty cool. It kind of plays an optical illusion. Now, this watch does come in at a 40 millimeter case size with brushed sides. Really nicely done, actually. Beautiful brushed, and I'm not usually one that likes brushed cases. For some reason, I've always favored polished cases, but the bezel does make up for that with that really nice high polish. The only problem that I've found with the bezel is it scratches very easily, and I'm not sure if that's just the position that it's in with the sloped sides, as you can see, but I've only had this watch for about 2 months now, and it has a lot of scratches. Granted, I do wear my watches. I don't keep them in a watch box. I actually wear them like they're supposed to be. So the hands are your syringe hands that you're gonna find on the other baseline khaki models, and I like that they kept that look. On the famous Hamilton Murph watch, it does have cathedral hands where it has the syringe minute hand, but it has the cathedral style hour hand, which I'm not sure if that would look right on this watch, but I do like that the Murph kind of picked up on that classier old time look. But we are not here to talk about the Hamilton Murph, we're here to talk about the Hamilton Khaki. As you can see, I replaced the strap that comes with the Khaki King. It did come with a brown leather strap, which was nice. Very stiff though. And honestly, with the champagne dial, I didn't like the color combination very much, so I opted for this black leather strap, and I did replace the pin buckle with the included Hamilton stamped buckle, which I think looks very nice on this watch. On the back, we have an exhibition case back that shows Hamilton's movement. This is the H40 movement, which is an ETA movement that just has a longer power reserve. I believe this watch has a 90-hour power reserve as opposed to the original 40. And that's nice. I mean, you know, you can sit this watch in a box or, you know, on the shelf and pick it up a couple days later and it's still going to be running. But honestly, I probably would have opted for the ETA movement just for the smoother hand sweep. As you can see, it's still smooth, it still sweeps as it is an automatic, but it does have a little bit of a stutter. This thing has been running for about 3 days now, and it's only about 10 seconds off, which honestly, that's to be expected with a Swiss movement. And I've been very, very happy with the accuracy of this piece. If you turn it over though and look, you can see the movement. It's nothing fancy. The rotor does have a skeletonized Hamilton logo, which is really cool, actually, in my opinion. That's pretty sweet. And it does say Swiss made, and it shows the water resistance, which we'll talk about here in a second, but the water resistance is only 50 meters. So I know what you're thinking. 50 meters for a field watch is pretty low, and yes, it absolutely is. I would ideally like for this to have had 100 or 200 meters of water resistance, and I'm not sure why the Khaki King would have a lower water resistance than the original Khaki. Assuming that the Khaki King is a upgrade from the Khaki, but I guess it all comes down to preference because you do have that ginormous day-date complication at the top, and you're going to be sacrificing 50 meters of water resistance for that. I bought this watch because I don't really have many Swiss pieces, and I really had always loved Hamilton just because of their iconic look, and also being that one of my favorite movies is Interstellar. And if you have seen that movie, Hamilton plays a really large part in the plot of that movie with two of their really iconic watches, one being the aviation pilot and the other being the Murph, as it was deemed after the movie came out. But all in all, the Khaki King is a very nice, sophisticated looking watch. You can really wear this with anything. You can wear this dressed up, dressed down. It has a look that is just very classy and casual at the same time, if that's a thing. But if you're looking at buying this watch, I would absolutely recommend this. I know that I've said that about the other watch, the Bulova Lunar Pilot, that I reviewed in my previous video, but this watch, absolutely, I would get this watch for the money. You're paying for a Swiss movement, you're paying for an iconic brand that just has a lot of quality that you're getting. And all in all, I just think that this is something that you'll enjoy wearing on your wrist. And one more thing on the dial, it has this inner sunburst effect on the inner ring, while the outside ring where the Arabic numerals are, they have a grooved effect. It really gives the dial a lot of contrast when it hits the light. And while the black dial also has this effect, I believe the champagne dial just shows it a lot better. Of course, the Khaki King does have hacking and hand winding, which is to be expected with a Swiss brand, but that is always something that I look for in my watches. I like to have it be as specific as possible, and I like to have the second hand pretty much dialed in when I set the time. So that's my quick review on the Hamilton Khaki King. If I missed anything or if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. I'm just doing this for fun. I like to talk about watches. It's something that interests me. I love the mechanic aspect of them, and I just love the look of all the different types of watches out there. So if you have any comments or questions, just drop them down in the comments below, and I look forward to making another video talking about more watches. Thanks, guys.